All right, welcome back. Just like we did with when we were doing volumes by washers, we could also be asked to take a region and revolve it about another axis. And so that's what I want to look at here. So we've taken the region here between y equals x squared, x equals 1, and y equals 0. All right, in other words, this region right in here, this little uh, piece in the graph that I've already graphed here using Desmos. All right, we want to find this volume. Now, we are revolving about this line over here, x equals 2. So what we need to do is, regardless of whether we're doing it with, whether we're doing this with washers or whether we're doing this with shells, we have to interpret everything in terms of this axis. Now we're going to do this with shells because that's what I want to focus on here. So for shells, we need to measure our rectangle parallel to the axis that we're rotating about. So that means I would be moving up here. So this will be in terms of x. And the region runs from 0 to 1. But in the formula, you have, remember the formula is 2 pi x and then times f of x, the height. But remember, x was, if we go back to when we originally set this up, right, x was the gap, right? X represented the gap, how far you were from the axis, right? Because that had to do with your radial length, right? X was how far we were away, right? And that contributed to this part, how far we were away from the axis we're revolving about. So here we need to realize that what would have been x for us previously, if we were revolving about the y-axis, has to be adjusted for the new axis that we're going about. And so in this case, this would still be x, but now you have a gap of 2 extra units away from the axis we're rotating about. And then we're ready to go now. The height's just going to be given by x squared. The interval we're doing this for is between 0 and 1. And so we can set this up. 2 pi integral from 0 to 1 of 2 plus x times our function x squared dx. All right, and then we just work through this process. 2 pi integral 0 to 1 of 2x squared plus x cubed dx equals 2 pi times, what do we have here? That will become 2/3 x cubed plus 1/4 x to the 4th. And we're evaluating between 0 and 1. And so when we plug in 1, we're basically just going to have 2/3 plus 1/4. I'm going to just cheat real quick on a calculator just to speed up the process. 0.91, which is 11/12. And then that's times 2 pi out here. So 11/12 would actually give me 11 pi over 6. And of course, we plug 0, that's all going to go away. So we end up with a volume of 11 pi over 6 cubic units. Cubic units. Okay, 11 pi over 6 cubic units. Okay, now before actually we'll save this for the next video. I was going to do something else here, but I'm going to save it for the next video, do it in just one video.